So I don't know if you can quite make this out, but there is a gap here where the fuselage and the wing meet. I have a piece of stretched sprue I've put in there. I'm now going to come along just work that sprue down into the gap. With my hobby knife. All right, welcome to part 3 of my build of the 72 scale space shuttles. Here we're working on the Revell kit. It's been a little while since I did any video, but the kit is basically assembled other than the engines. It has been primed, and I've started the paint work. So, which I'm kind of doing in portions. I want to get the back end masked off, so I wanted to get it nice and painted first. I've got the front reinforced carbon panel. I made an error, so I had to go back and repaint that, so I have to remask and touch up the black that's here. But what I wanted to talk about first and foremost, I guess, or maybe not first, but foremost, is this pattern that you kind of maybe can see here. You can see this tape that is going up the leading edge reinforced carbon. If you look at pictures of Columbia on the launch pad before STS-1, you'll see random colors of reinforced carbon, almost looks like streaking, even though the ship had not been through the atmosphere or anything yet, other than on its ferry flights and being exposed to the elements at the Kennedy Space Center, but it's not uniform. So what I'm doing here is just spraying different shades of gray initially to create different panels, base panel colors. And then I'm going to weather it with some streaking effects afterwards. So pardon the mess here in the workshop, but just kind of showing. So these are the engines I'm going to go with instead of the kit engines. These are from, I believe these are, I think they're cutting edge. I'm not 100% certain. They were sent to me by a friend who was not going to use them in a build of his. So you can see here, I'm having a little bit of trouble. Let me get a little closer here. So you can see here the kind of the details and everything. I still have them on the resin that they were printed on. And this is kind of where I started. So this is all clad. Everything here is all clad. Gloss black primer. The outside has been shot with all clad steel. The inside is dark aircraft aluminum. And at the very bottom there, you can see where it really shines. I put a little bit of chrome in to try to recreate the injector plate. Then I got to work on it and did some dry brushing. And I did that with, I believe it's Art Deco gunmetal paint. That came out looking really nice. And then I used a Tester's silver leafing pin to gently pull out the piping and the ribs here on the outside. Then on the inside, I treated it with some Tamiya smoke. And then I got a good suggestion and saw a really nice screenshot from one of the shuttles on orbit. Of course, the Columbia would have already fired her engines and her flight readiness firing. It showed kind of a copper color, and so I hit the base here with a copper and then toned it back down by going over the copper with that same Tamiya smoke. Okay, maybe this is a little better reference. So this is my starting point on the first axis. I'm going around the square at the base here, so that's a 90-degree turn. That's a 90-degree turn. And that's a 90-degree turn. And that's back to our start position. So in order to recreate the missing feed line on the 72 scale shuttle on the left-hand side, as you're looking at it, of the external tank, went and purchased some various scale styrene rods and tubes. So I'm going to be using this rod here, and then you can see from this tube, I have cut out a header and I've cut out supports. So we're going to string that together to create that missing feed line. All right, here we see the feed line here installed. I still need to mix up some of the tank color to paint the connection points. But what I'm actually going to do first is I'm going to work on these foam ramps. So what I have here is some basswood that I have cut to the right length based on the measurements, and then I've taken a look at the thickness because it should be this thickness here, and then I'm going to just sand down to get what I need in terms of look. So I've had to use a piece of brass rod, and this is some steel reinforced epoxy that I have on here. The bipod just won't hold. It continually snaps off. So we're gonna let this set up overnight, and then I'll repaint it tomorrow. Still have some work to do. But everything is in place.